This is Adam Zdroik. I'm here for the RotoWire Showdown show. Yes, sorry, my headphones sounded a little weird there, but I'm talking Manchester City against Tottenham. That game is Thursday. We currently got going on the Manchester United Crystal Palace match. Bruno Fernandes got a goal just before halftime. This one, so I'm using a different cheat sheet. The prices just came out 45 minutes ago. So the current cheat sheet for DraftKings isn't up. So ignore the prices if you look on here. But we got a different cheat sheet. To get our cheat sheets, rotowire.com/soccer trial, free 2-day trial. And then once you're in, rotowire.com/chat to get into our Discord. But as you can see with these odds, we have Manchester City 70% chance to win. Not Tottenham are 12%. Manchester City are at home, so that makes sense. Clean sheets at 40% for Man City, 2.23 implied goals, 0.95 for Tottenham. I think as we saw today, as we saw Wednesday, a lot of rotation. Crystal Palace changed a little bit of everything. Chris Richards, American, got his first start for him, and then Mateta, can't remember the last time he started for him. Eduard was back in the starting 11. Short week, so some different things. Will Hughes started. That started a conversation in our Discord. And then Weghorst got a start for Manchester United. Luke Shaw was back at left back. So a couple different changes. I assume we're going to see changes here for Manchester City and Tottenham. Can't really project what's going to happen for Man City. I mean, you can never project what they're going to do. The latest report is that John Stones is training, Ruben Diaz is training. So technically, both those guys could be starting. Technically, we could get Akanji and Stones at center back again, with Ake playing left back and Rico playing right back, which they've done a couple times. Rico Lewis starting at right back. But I mean, Kyle Walker, I don't know. Kyle Walker has looked pretty good back there, so I'd be surprised if he was removed from the starting 11. De Bruyne should be good. He missed training on Tuesday, but it was not injury related. And then we'll see what happens up front. Got to assume Haaland's going to start. We'll see if it's Grealish. Maybe Alvarez comes in, change things up a little bit. We'll see where Bernardo's playing. Then we'll see Mahrez, Foden. It's always a question with Man City. We'll see what happens with that. As for Tottenham, Perisic was benched over the weekend against Arsenal. Is he going to come back in there? Maybe. Kulishevsky's healthy again, so Son and Kane, those guys always start. If Kulishevsky is fit enough, he'll be starting. If Conte wants to rotate a little bit, maybe it's Richarlison. So we got a lot of questions here, and unfortunately, that makes it obviously a little difficult to talk about in terms of DFS, because there's 30 different players we could talk about here. So I'll try to do my best here, but just for this matchup, it's going to be a lot of 5-1s here, especially in cash games. You're going to look at a lot of 5-1s for Manchester City to Tottenham. That's usually the case. That's kind of usually what you do with Manchester City. In terms of this matchup, Tottenham won both meetings last season. I don't know if there's revenge factor in play for Man City to get back at them for those two losses, but I mean, when was this? Last February, Tottenham got 3-2, and then early in the season, Tottenham beat them 1-0. That was at home. I mean, that first one, they got a goal, and that was about it. But I remember that second match is really up and down, so many counterattacks, and that was pretty much where all of Tottenham's counters came from. I was looking at the numbers from that match. Manchester City finished with 21 shots, 6 shots for Tottenham. Tottenham got 3 goals from 6 shots in that match. A lot of counterattacking. Son had 2 assists. Kane 2 goals. Kulishevsky goal and assist there. 10 corners for Man City, 0 for Tottenham, and I believe in the other match it was 11 corners for Man City and 3 for Tottenham. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about Tottenham's not going to have a huge floor in this match. That's just kind of how it goes. I could pull up Son's floor from those matches. I mean, you remove the 2 assists in this game. about 7 points. Sorry, less than 7 points, about 5 points. And then I guess 10-point floor in that first meeting. But again, that was at home. Son managed 5 shots in it. So is it going to be worth it? Maybe. Do you need to play him? I mean, we look at the prices here. This is interesting pricing for a Manchester City slate. It's almost play whoever you want, almost, because again, a lot of this is going to depend on who actually starts. So that's the first question. And as I'm looking at the odds here, Haaland is minus 215 to score, but the prices are pretty strange. We got Alvarez at max price. De Bruyne is just under that. Let me clear the lineup I had in here. Alvarez, De Bruyne is just under that. Foden and Haaland is the fourth most expensive player. So we're in a situation where it might make sense that you could use Haaland in cash games. He hasn't done much in recent games, and that's fine. But I mean, it's just always in play here. So just looking at these prices, I say that it's almost play whoever you want because these guys aren't that expensive. Like, we can put together a KDB captain lineup as we look at set pieces for Manchester City in recent games. Even without set pieces, I mean, this is kind of same situation we always have with Manchester City. Do set pieces matter for De Bruyne? Maybe. Sometimes it gives them a nice boost. We'll see if Mahrez is in there. We'll see if Foden's in there. Maybe neither one's in there, and then KDB will be on more set pieces, more corners than he usually is. But let's just plug in KDB, and just for this situation, let's just go. I mean, we could look back at what they played last game, but I don't even think it matters to what Man City went with last game. Mahrez went 90, Bernardo, Rodri, all these guys went 90. Foden was taken off early. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. Maybe we'll get Grealish in there. I guess that's another boost for KDB. Seems like if Mahrez doesn't start, whoever starts in the right wing will be a sub risk, and no matter whoever starts in the left wing will be a sub risk as well. But just for the sakes of this, showing you that you can really do whatever you want, let's just do KDB captain with Mahrez, and then just for fun, we can plug in Son here in this lineup, and you still have actually a decent amount of money. And I say that a lot of this depends on who starts, because Cancelo is way down here. Cancelo's 5,800. Gundogan 6,000, Rodri 6,000. You have all these guys down here that are all playable. Even, I mean, Kulusevski, maybe not in cash games, I guess, but I don't even think Kulusevski's floor is that much worse than Son's is, because how many corners is Son going to get? Is Son's floor that much better than Kulusevski? Probably not. So, I mean, if you need the money, you can just save $1,800 and go Kulusevski. I mean, we saw earlier in the season, I know it hasn't been happening lately, but earlier in the season, Son was the sub risk for Richarlison, and Richarlison's back. So just something to keep in mind. I'm not saying it's going to happen in this game, but maybe it might. We could see Son come off before Kulusevski. So I don't want to say that, Son's guaranteed for 90 minutes. Just something to keep in mind here. So how many corners are Tottenham going to get? I don't know. Is Son worth the 3 corners when Kulusevski's down here 1,800 cheaper? Maybe not. But as I'm going to show you, you kind of have the money to spend on Son. So unless you want Haaland in this lineup, I guess that's kind of what it comes down to. If you want, I guess if Foden starts as well, if you want Haaland or Foden with this lineup with KDB and Mahrez, because with what we have here, KDB captain, Mahrez, Son, you're basically getting all set pieces. Assuming those guys start, Cancelo for the fun of it, assuming, let's just say he starts, and then you can really, I don't really ever want to play Kyle Walker, but he's down here. Doherty's down here. You still have, I mean, with this lineup, you can play both Gundogan and Rodri. I think, I guess you can't play Bernardo, but I mean, you could play Højbjerg even. Højbjerg is this guy that's going to get to 5 points no matter the matchup. So you can go a lot of ways. And I mean, let's take out Son for Kulishevsky down here. And I mean, this would allow you, let's just say you remove one of Cancelo, Rodri, and Gundogan. So you're up here 7,800. I guess it doesn't really help you that much. I mean, it'll get you to Grealish, Bernardo, if you want to play Ederson, kind of a thing. So there's a few things you can do, but I mean, in cash games, it's pretty simple here. KDB should be plus 50% captain. If he's not, then something's off. I don't know. I don't know. I guess if Morris starts, I do think you can look at Morris for captain, and I mean, he's pretty cheaper. I mean, he's down here. What the captain rate 2.7K cheaper than KDB in captain. So, I mean, if he starts, I think you can consider that, and that'll allow you to do KDB and Haaland in this spot, and then kind of fill out the three spots with what we were just talking about. So that will be a possibility. I'd say Mahrez, KDB will be most popular. KDB will be most popular captain. Maybe Mahrez. I'm not sure how many people will be looking at Son, but it will be pretty much these Man City guys here, at least in cash games. So let me read the comments here before we get to. Oh, all right. We're getting Kulishevsky captain with Manchester City onslaught for all the money. That's what Jack Burkhart's telling us. Speaking of Jack, go to rotowire.com, go to the soccer page, and then find his articles. Actually, all you need to do here, Google Jack Burkhart, Rotowire. Jack, Burkart, Rotowire. And then you can find his strategy articles, single entry tournament soccer strategy. And then he wrote one early in the season for a 1-0 optimal build. So do you want to do 1-0 build for this game? I guess that's what we'll get into next for GPPs. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You look at a lot of these recent Manchester City results, have been kind of low scoring because Manchester City just haven't been scoring that much themselves. I mean, excluding the 4-0 result against Chelsea, which I don't know how much you'll put into that, but they've been lower scoring than they were earlier in the season for Man City. So how much are you going to put into that? On the other side of that, Tottenham are still pretty much struggling. I know they got rid of their weird streak of not being the first team to score in 10 straight matches when they beat Crystal Palace. But again, I've been saying this a little bit. Tottenham were outplayed by Crystal Palace in the first half of that match. The match after that, Tottenham, barely got past Portsmouth with one goal. They were completely outplayed at home against Arsenal in a game where home teams have dominated that matchup. So what's going to change for Tottenham? Is Bentancur going to come back in there? Maybe, but I'd say if you're looking at Bentancur for one of your lineups, he's been out for long enough to where I'd be surprised if he got more than 60, 70 minutes. So, I mean, sure, you're not really looking at him anyway, but just keep in mind of that. But yeah, it just feels like even though Manchester City have been struggling, even though both these teams have been kind of struggling, Manchester City are the team that can easily get out of that. And you got to think that they're going to have 70% possession, similar to prior results. They're going to have more shots, 20 plus shots. They're going to have more corners and all that. So the question is, how do you want to play that? Do you want to play for another 3-2 result where Tottenham get 3 goals? Or even, I mean, this could be a 3-4 result even. If you could just, all right, it doesn't have to be 3 goals. Let's just get that out of the way. If you want to play for multiple Tottenham goals, because if you're only playing for one Tottenham goal, that's not really going to be enough to use like more than 2 Tottenham guys because their floors are just not there. Unless you play for, I don't know why you'd want to play for a Tottenham 1-0 win here, but you could do that. You could go Hugo. I have zero trust in Hugo right now, but if you want to do a Hugo lineup, you could do that 1-0 and then get a Kane goal from Kane to Son goal or put Kulusevski in there. You could do that. But again, in that situation, I'm only using 3 Tottenham guys. You're getting the goal and assist, and then you're getting the win clean sheet. So that's kind of what you're doing there. And that's basically the 1-0 build. If you want more Tottenham goals, though, you're still looking at probably 3 guys. Because if Tottenham score 2+ goals, you got to think that Manchester City are also getting goals. So there's going to be goals. It's going to be back and forth. Just depends who you want. Do you want Kane in this spot? Kane has, been pretty good. I mean, you look at his numbers and what he's done. They're getting the ball to him a lot. He's getting shots. He's helping teammates. Against Arsenal, it just didn't happen. Ramsdale stepped up. This kind of just feels like a match where there's going to be goals. That's probably how I'm going to be playing. I just don't trust either of these keepers. Maybe I'll end with a goalkeeper captain, but it's just kind of hard to trust either one of these goalkeepers. So how are we going to win like a 3-2 result or a 3-1 result kind of a thing? I guess I'll get into a 3-0, but let's just do a bunch of goals here. No clean sheets, a bunch of goals. What's the best method here to get all this? Should we go down for like a Grealish, Silva captain, Kulishevsky, or Charlison, Gundogan, Rodri? Is it time to get back on Cancelo? You went 90 minutes against Manchester United. The numbers just really haven't been there lately. Kind of really hasn't looked that good either. Went on the pitch, which I don't know, part of the reason why he was benched for a little bit there. So Farico Lewis starts. I'm not completely sold on him because even as a fullback, he still kind of plays fairly defensive and still kind of moves into like a central defensive position at times with the ball. So, I mean, for the goal, I don't know. I mean, there's always the center backs. You can go with the center backs and hope for that. But the Tottenham goals are going to come from counters. So you're going to want the Tottenham counters. I guess so that would be looking at, so then you'd be looking at the Manchester City center backs. But I'm not the center back whisperer here to captain center backs. It's just too crazy here for me personally. So what are we going to do? What's the winning lineup here? Gundogan. It's just, let me figure this one out. Grealish. Do you want Grealish? I don't think you want Grealish. Let's just try and do something with. Let's just do Haaland here. What do we think? Do we think Haaland's going to be able to score against Romero, Lenglet, and Dyer? I'll just do this Haaland one for fun and see what we can come up with. Okay. All right. So we want Haaland. We're going to want KDB for the assists. So this is, brace from Haaland, hat trick from Haaland, and then Tottenham still get a couple goals. So I think you need one of these cheaper Tottenham guys. So you need like a Kulishevsky to be involved there. And I mean, really, you can look at any of these 6K guys if you want to go heavy with goals. I'm not sure anyone stands out, but I guess there's a situation where you could back one of these center backs. Depends who starts here. Let's just say Stone starts for the heck of it. Just plug Stones in. Maybe you get a random goal with him or a Kanji, whoever starts. Okay, so you got that. You got more than 16,000 for your final 2 spots. Unfortunately, that still kind of puts you in a dead zone here. So, because you do Mahrez and then you're stuck with Grealish, Bernardo. Yeah, so I mean it's kind of difficult here to. So I got Haaland captain with KDB, Kulishevsky, and then I threw Stones in for the heck of it, and then Mahrez and Grealish. So for this situation, how do we get Son or Kane in your lineup? Not easily. So let's just do Kane. No, actually, it is pretty easy. Instead of doing Mahrez, just do Kane. So yeah, Haaland, KDB, Grealish, punt, and then for Tottenham, you got Kulishevsky, Kane / Son. So there you go. I mean, that's a fairly reasonable build for 3-2 result where Haaland gets a couple goals, Kulishevsky and Kane hook up for some goals. So there's a couple options there. I mean, again, these guys are cheap enough to where you can get 4, maybe even 5 fairly decent attacking players, um, even with one of the high end guys captain. So what's the benefit of going down for Ederson? There's not a huge benefit because Ederson is almost the same price as Mahrez, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I know it's 40% captain, but not entirely sure uh, about Ederson's clean sheet chances here. Just in terms of Ederson's always a guy, doesn't make a ton of saves, always seems to allow a goal, and your lineup's done like that. So I don't even know if it's worth it here to put together an Ederson lineup. So I guess I'll do it here. It doesn't feel worth it, but whatever. Let's do Ederson. Let's just say this is a 1-0, 2-0 win. So we'll get KDB, we'll get Haaland, and we could do Kulishevsky here as your Tottenham piece, and then you're getting Cancelo for the clean sheet, and then I don't know, one of the midfielders. Pretty easy. So yeah, there you go. You just got to decide if you want to play for a win and clean sheet or if you want to play for a bunch of goals. That's really what it comes down to. Honestly, that's kind of what all showdowns come down to. You got to play for how you think the match is going to go. According to the odds, implied goal total 3.18. A lot of people are going to be playing for the 3-2, 2-1, whatever kind of result. So Ederson probably won't be that popular captain. Lloris definitely won't be that popular captain given how he's looked. So there you go. I mean, I don't know. Lloris might be sub 2% captain in most tournaments. And obviously that seems like an extreme situation where, Tottenham get the 1-0 win, but no one else is doing that. So that's 10K in your pocket. That's a king of the pitch ticket winner kind of a thing right there. So that's all I got for this one. Personally, I think it's hard to see Manchester City losing 3 straight matches here. And given how Tottenham are playing, Manchester City are just going to dominate possession. I think Kyle Walker will be starting. And while he was in there when Tottenham got those goals last season, I just think Kyle Walker is going to prevent a lot of those counterattacking goals. We'll see who starts at left back. If it's Ake and Kyle Walker back there, I mean, that Pep is very worried about the counterattack. So that'll be, I think, maybe another defensive boost for Man City where they're almost playing things a little safer. Jack, we got the Kyle Walker revenge game narrative. I mean, it's a long time ago here, but we can still call it that. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. This is for Thursdays. Yes, showdown of the week between Manchester City and Tottenham. Tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, we got Kits and Wagers, our betting show. I'll be on with Chris Owen. We're talking about a few matches for the upcoming week, some big matches actually. And then Friday, our usual time, me, Ryan Belangi, Jordan Cooper, we talking about the 4-game slate at DraftKings. Rotowire.com/soccer trial, free 2-day trial. But we got a couple more shows coming up to end the week. Good luck on the slate, and hopefully good luck on this current game that's going on. We still got 1-0 Manchester United. We got, looks like Eze was just subbed off. So some interesting things are happening. Maybe not interesting. I still got a bet on the under 2.5, so hopefully that comes through. But thanks for watching. See everyone tomorrow. Make sure to check out Kits and Wagers. All of our bets on Kits and Wagers are winning, so check it out. Watch Kits and Wagers tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, or watch the replay. All right, see everyone tomorrow. Good luck.